So in Revelation chapter 7, verses 1 through to 8, I want to look at verses 2 and 3. And this is the sealing of the servants of God. So giving an account of the chronological order in which the events are for the last days will take place does not seem to be the purpose of the book of Revelation. For example, today's passage helps us to see that, because remember in Revelation 6:12 to 16, it gives us a scene of judgment to accompany the opening of the sixth seal, the heavenly scroll. And in this judgment, mountains pass away, the whole cosmos is shaken. But in Revelation 7, 1 to 3 says that after this judgment, 4 angels are held back from harming the earth or the sea or the trees, which can mean only that these things continue as they are after the divine judgment of Revelation 6:12 to 16. So this after this phrase, after this of Revelation, chapter 7 verse 1, cannot be a chronological marker of what happens after judgment. It's basically a reference to a new vision given to John. Now, Revelation 7 actually answers the question, who can stand at the end of chapter 6? Who will endure the great day of wrath of the Lamb unscathed? So the people mentioned in chapter 7, God will hold back the destructive forces of judgment in their case. Now, those who are protected are sealed by God on their forehead. This is chapter 6, verses 3 to 4. Among other things, seals in the ancient world were a mark of ownership. So the people sealed in Revelation 7, 1 to 8, are marked out by God as belonging to him. And probably the mark on their forehead is also related to such texts in Deuteronomy 11:18, where God's people are told to place the law on their foreheads as a symbol of their loyalty to the Lord. So the 144,000 sealed are faithful servants of God, marked off by him as his own, and thus safe in the day of wrath to come. The 144 sealed saints of God belong to the tribes of Israel, Revelation 7, 5 to 8. So John is likely not talking about only Jewish believers here. The list of the 12 tribes does not correspond to any lists of 12 in the Old Testament. The tribes of Dan and Ephraim are excluded. So the list includes the tribe of Joseph, yet properly speaking, there was no tribe of Joseph, but tribes named for his sons Ephraim and Manasseh. So when we consider also that even Gentile believers are sealed by God in the New Testament in Ephesians 4:30, it becomes clear that the 144,000 represents all believers in Christ. 12 tribes times 12 is just another way of saying the people of God, as Israel's God's people could be summed up in 12 tribes. So this 12 times 12 is then multiplied by 1,000 and the number of men in a military unit. So the entire church, God's spiritual army, is set apart for protection on the day of wrath. So a day of wrath is coming for sinners, but those who belong to Jesus will not suffer. As Paul tells us in 1 Thessalonians 1:10, Jesus has saved us from the wrath to come, and we can look forward in confidence to the day of God's final judgment. And because why? If we belong to Jesus. Those who do not know him have much to fear on that day, but they will be saved from the wrath of God if they trust Jesus today. So let us never shy away from proclaiming his truth.